from the corner. Oh, he can knock down threes, Kenny. Now he's going to go back door. Oh, what a feed. Feed to Ume, who goes up for the slam. Devin Lilly drives, pulls up, fires home a two.
I'll tell you, man, you cannot underestimate the hustle this big man gives you. Strap in your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen. Hang on.
Welcome inside Dakota High School, home of the Cougars, as we get set for this MAC Red matchup between the Grosse Pointe South Blue Devils and our Dakota Cougars. Brad Fetters joined once again by Jeff Vitale. And Jeff, this Grosse Pointe South team, your MAC Red champions, a perfect 9-0 mark in MAC Red play, looking to do something that hasn't been done since 2017. Let's go a perfect 10-0 in the MAC Red. The last team to do that was this very Dakota Cougars squad.
Yeah, it's not something that is easily done. It is very hard to run this division twice, and they've had a heck of a season. They'll shoot it from anywhere. They're not afraid to shoot it. And I think right now for tonight for Dakota, tonight's about pride. Last time you were at their place, you lost by 30. Tonight's about coming in, trying to get some momentum going into districts, playing better basketball, trying to get going in that direction, because their district, Brad, is extremely tough.
Yeah, we'll talk about MAC tournament as well as the district. We don't know the bracket quite yet for district play. We know who will make up the district. We'll talk about that throughout the broadcast. But when we talk about Grosse Pointe South, you have to mention senior captain number 3, Anthony Bernard, first team All-State last year, coming off a 20-point performance against L'Anse Creuse North. He is a Mercer commit. He is the real deal.
Yeah, he can shoot it. But the one thing he does probably better than anyone in the conference is, boy, can he distribute that basketball. And he's got some weapons around him this year. Last year, and even his sophomore year, he was counted on to be a scorer. He's got some weapons around him this year. He doesn't have to really carry the load, and he's just a complete ball player. Heard a lot about him. This is my first chance to get to see him live this year, so I'm excited to see what he can do.
His off guard tonight will be Carter Richards, maybe the best 1-2 combination guard tandem in Macomb County, if not the state of Michigan. Yes. Carter Richards going to wear number 11 tonight in blue. He is the team's top defender. So there we go. Underway. Grosse Pointe South obviously clad in those blue row jerseys, coming in with a record of 13-3. Our first look at Anthony Bernard, who has the ball. Kelvin Watson, the Saginaw Valley State commit, will guard him as they switch now. Vincent Vachon has it, goes over to Carter Richards. Comes out and extends a defense.
Then that little weed, they're doing a lot of switching right now, the Cougars. I like the idea of putting a Watson on him, a little bit bigger, stronger guy, but don't want to give him any daylight. And a bank 3 to start, Brad. Ouch.
The sophomore, Vincent Vachon, banks it home. And this is a Grosse Pointe South that is not afraid to shoot the three-pointer. In fact, Jeff, they average over 60 points per ball game.
Yeah, they light it up. They'll shoot it from anywhere. They really don't care where the line is. And, it's pretty tough because the Cougars played pretty good defense to start. There we go. And they get a bang 3, and there's a beautiful 3. And if Dakota's going to stay in this game, they're going to have to keep pace, Brad.
Lorenzo Alfred knocking down that three-pointer. And this is a Dakota team that has struggled this season to score points, just averaging 46 per game. You mentioned the first meeting between these two teams back on January 20th. Pull-up jumper is good out of Bernard.
That's so smooth right there. Just a beautiful jump shot, a lot of rotation on it. That's why he's going to play at the next level.
That was a 56-28 victory for Grosse Pointe South on their home floor. Dakota kicks around the perimeter. Kelvin Watson for 3 comes up short. Anthony Bernard to rip down the defensive rebound. Quickly up ahead, gets it right back. This time it's Matt Wooters that draws the assignment there on Anthony Bernard. Dakota lines up this way, their starters tonight. Kelvin Watson, Owen Colpert, Matt Wooters, Nathan Washburn, and Lorenzo Alfred. Nathan Washburn coming off a 22-point, 13-rebound performance in their most recent game over in Kalamazoo.
Yeah, Cougars are really going to need to come out with the energy tonight. Like I said, these guys play hard. They're trying to do something that hasn't been done in quite some time. You go 10-0 in the MAC Red. That's a feather in your cap. And like you said, last done by Dakota. So what a better chance than to do it against the team that did it last.
And drawing contact is Carter Richards, 6'2" junior, will go to the line to shoot 2. So there on that last turnover, Dakota was trying to feed the big man, Nathan Washburn. Pass was deflected, and that's really kind of the story of this Grosse Pointe South team. Yes, they can light up the scoreboard, averaging those 60 points per game, but they are also very active on the defensive end, just giving up 47.5 points per game. They come away with a lot of steals, and they also have a lot of shot blockers, specifically the big 6'8" senior Alex English.
Well, yeah, and part of that 60 points a game comes from transition. They get on the transition very good, and not only that, when you're on fire too, you can get to the basket, kick it out, and you got shooters galore everywhere. So yeah, this is a deadly team. The Cougars are really got to be on their toes. Little 1-2-2, 3/4 court trap.
And Colpert picks up the dribble, able to float the pass over to Wooters, goes right back to Owen Colpert. We mentioned Kelvin Watson, Owen Colpert, both of those guys going to the next level to play football, Saginaw Valley State University. National Signing Day last week. Into the corner for Watson, thought about the 3, instead drives to the lane, counted him, a foul!
Yeah, number 10, Noah Steyer was late getting there in the block. And Watson's going to have a chance for a 3-point play here for the Cougars. So
big momentum lift there.
And they're going to need big plays like this, Brad. I mean, this is going to be a game where, you're playing a team that's 13-3, playing great basketball right now. You're not going to bring your B or C game and beat this team. It's your A game or nothing, and that's just how it's going to be tonight.
It's the Grosse Pointe squad team that comes in a perfect 4-0 on the road as well. Off the heel, 2 Dakota players go up for, neither comes down with it. Terrific ball movement there. Corner pocket 3, no good. Colpert comes down the defensive rebound. Quickly up ahead to Wooters. Bounce pass inside to Washburn, draws the double team, able to kick it back out. Wooters tried the jump shot. We're going to get a tie-up after the block shot. Now Wooters goes down, holding his leg. Back up on 2 feet appears to be okay.
Yeah, he went into the big fella there. That's just going to be, a tie-up there, and that's what the Cougars got. They got the possession now, fortunately.
3-pointer on the way, too long. And Dakota with the offensive rebound via Nathan Washburn.
Washburn coming off a big double-double game this weekend, which they lost, but played a fantastic game. I want to say it was 18-20 or 20-18. So I remember reading that on the Twitter feed over the weekend. So you're going to need the big man tonight for sure.
22 points, 13 rebounds. So you were close,
Tomato.
That'll be Kelvin Watson to trigger below the basket. Lorenzo Alfred cut off. Kicks it back out to Watson, drives the lane, had his pocket pick. Oh boy, Anthony Bernard with the quick hands. Now draws contact via the foul by Matt Wooters.
He's just at a different speed than everybody else right now, Brad. He's just such a smooth player.
Wooters first, team second.
You wonder if at any point tonight, too, they try to attack him on the defensive end, maybe get him into some foul trouble. You can get him on the bench, you can give yourself a chance. Get him off the floor offensively.
Bernard straight away. And Wooters applying some strong defense. Creates a turnover. Now Colpert slashing through the lane, and they're going to say last touch by Colpert. Fans in front of us were voicing their frustration. They thought a foul call should have been made.
Whoa, boy, did he get away with one there. Huh?
No. Kelvin Watson, a big smile on his face. And now a block shot by Washburn. Return to sender. So we'll get some substitutions now into the game for Dakota. BJ Jackson and Matthew Bomarito into the game.
That was a man's block by Washburn right there.
Sure was. That's just muscling up on the defensive end. Washburn, only a junior. He'll be back next year for head coach Paul Tocco. Bashan hands off to Bernard. Skip pass to Richards, 3-way 3, no good. And it's Owen Colbert that comes down with it. VJ Jackson quickly up ahead, gets it right back. 3 on the way from the left wing, no good. Long rebound by Vachon. He pulls up, waits for his trailing teammates. Finds Anthony Bernard straight away. Kelvin Watson extends the defense all the way out to the volleyball line. Dumped down low, in and out of the hands of Alex English. Owen Colbert with the interception. He slams on the brakes. Cross-court pass deflected out of bounds by the 5'9" sophomore, Vincent Vachon.
Yeah, that was a nice help by Colbert as he came across the baseline there. He was going to help on the big man. He ended up stealing it and taking it down floor. Cougars just unable to get a transition bucket. Grosse Pointe South doing a good job of getting back on defense.
7-6. Blue Devils over the Cougars here. 2:55 left to go. Opening quarter of play. Bomarito hands off to Watson. Watson tries to work his way around to Owen Colbert's screen. Didn't work out. Colbert might have got away with a little bit of a travel there. No call. Ball pinballs out to the Blue Devils. Transition 3 on its way. Short. Rims out. Long rebound controlled momentarily by Morin. Bounces all the way out to the perimeter. A battle for it. Bodies hitting the floor. It's a tie-up situation. And that will be the call. Possession arrow favors GPS.
Yeah, the blue shirts are getting those loose balls a little quicker right now than the Cougars, and that's something that's going to have to change for Coach Toko tonight. You got to beat these guys with loose balls. You got to really win those tangible plays. And
Peter Olku, the 6'4" senior, wears 15 in blue for head coach Steve Bernard. He freshly into this basketball game. This Grosse Pointe South team, lots of size down low. Baseline drive up and under. Boy, that almost spun in out of the right hand of Carter Richards. Kelvin Watson, 3, no good. Bomarito tapped it up. Was probably trying to shovel that over to Morin, couldn't find him. And now Watson's gonna get called for reaching. That'll be Kelvin Watson's second personal foul, so more than likely he will head to the bench. In fact, he will. He'll be replaced by Mike Wooters. It's a big blow there for Dakota, having to sit Kelvin Watson. He's gotten off to a hot start. 3 of the Cougars, 6 points.
yeah, he's done a nice job too of defending their guards with that size that he's got. So now someone's got to step up.
Vachon, guarded this time by Jackson.
Little matchup zone.
And last touch by Grosse Pointe South.
Yeah, I think if he let that go, it was out of bounds. It'd be Grosse Pointe South ball. He actually touched it before the ball landed out of bounds, and he gave it, kind of foolishly gave the ball right back to the Cougars there with. That was a little strange play there, Brad.
Raphael Ross Jr., freshly into the basketball game, going to replace Vincent Vachon on the floor. Grosse Pointe South sticking with that man-to-man defense. Corner 3, no good. Bomarito landed kind of funny. And Grosse Pointe South quickly up the floor, losing the handle there. Bernard out of bounds. So a rare miscue by the senior captain.
Yeah, you can just see the level of play that he's at in transition. Very comfortable there. They're going to give him a blow for about the next minute 20. But if you're the Cougars right now, 7-6, you're in this ball game. You got to like how this first quarter has gone. What you don't want to do in that last minute 20 is have the wheels come off and have the Grosse Pointe South extend any kind of a lead, especially with Bernard on the bench now. And English.
Mike Wooters changes directions. Dangerous pass inside. What a terrific find. Morin able to lay it in.
Yeah, that was a great catch, but even a better finish by Morin, and gives the Cougars the lead.
8-7, under a minute left. Carter Richards now going to run the point. A little 5 out here for Grosse Pointe South. Steyer tries to drive baseline, cut off by Bomarito. Feed inside, another steal for the Cougars defensively. Mike Wooters out transition. No good, ball bounds out, and they're going to get Dakota there for a foul. Morin, the guilty party. And just like that, that'll be Dakota's 4th team foul.
Nice active hands in the key, though. And that's what it's going to take tonight. You're not going to give up 63 points and win this game, Brad. You got to keep this game in the 40s, maybe even the 30s. Muck it up a little bit, play a little football. These two teams playing football. We know who the better football team is. That's where you need to be tonight.
Dakota with a bunch of athletes on their team. Guys are going to be playing at the next level on Saturdays. We'll talk about some of those signings. We already mentioned Colpert and Watson going to Saginaw Valley. Feet inside. Oh, boy, they're going to get the foul call there. Oku will go to the line to shoot a couple.
That's tough because you saw where he was shooting.
Yeah,
he was underneath the basket. He had no chance to make that, and you foul him and you put him on the line for 2.
Yeah, it's more in second, but more importantly, already the 5th team foul on Dakota. So foul trouble going to be an issue for the rest of this first half.
Yeah, 2 more fouls, and Grosse Pointe South shoots bonus basketball the rest of the half. So it's something definitely you don't want to have happen. You know, coming into this game, be up 8-7 with a chance to be up 8-7 at the end of 8 minutes. Coach Toko would have taken that in a heartbeat. Got to get this rebound.
I guarantee you, point of emphasis was that last ball game back in January. It's not too often Dakota gets embarrassed, but a 56-28 final, safe to say it was a bit of embarrassment for this Cougar squad.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. And like I said, this game tonight's all about pride, Brad.
So we'll keep it right here. 1 quarter in the books with the Cougars, the home team on their home floor. The 8-7 advantage. Lorenzo Alford with 3 points. Watson with 3. Morin with 2. Grosse Pointe South's leading scorer so far, Vincent Vachon. As the Cougars have held Anthony Bernard to just 2 points in this ball game. A very good start so far for Dakota.
Well, congratulations to the Cougars JV. Won a big game earlier. 67-45, I believe, was the finals. We were kind of sitting here before the varsity game. JV team looked really, really good tonight. Very strong defensively. Put on a nice exhibition, shooting the basketball as well.
Yeah, that was a team that can really light it up from distance. That was like a green light special. Everybody was chucking up threes in that JV game.
Like Oprah Winfrey was here. You get a 3, you get a 3, you get a 3. Well, your Coach Toko right now, I think you're saying to your team in the huddle, listen, we got to continue to slow them down. We got to continue to frustrate them. You got to minimize your runs, and you got to make runs of your own. Keep making them chase you. You know, this is not a position Grosse Pointe South used to being in. Keep them out of their comfort zone.
Bit of a different looking 5 on the floor here for Dakota. BJ Jackson, Mike Wooters, Bomarito, Jason Barra, and Nathan Washburn. So giving an extended break to the starters here to start the second quarter of play. BJ Jackson, cross-court pass to Bomarito. Nearly lost the dribble. Dangerous pass to Jackson. Jumper no good. Quickly back up with it. Washburn no good. Now tapped around and controlled by Jackson. 3 on its way, no good. And it's Vachon that comes down with the rebound. Out in transition, Vachon gets tied up. He's able to get the pass off, no good. Washburn able to rip it down. Wooters brings it over to the timeline. Goes over to Jackson on the left wing side. Jackson picks up the dribble. Now gets it right back on the dribble handoff. Floated a pass out of bounds. Can't have that. That's a costly turnover right there for VJ Jackson.
Yeah, that's a tough turnover there, but so far early in this game, Cougars defense is on point. You gotta love right now how the intensity is on defense, and I'm sure Coach Toko's loving it too. That's gotta be something that he's emphasized coming to this game. Giving up 56 the last time they played.
Well, for as much struggles as Dakota has had offensively this season, they've done an adequate job defensively, giving up just over 50 points per game. So that typically will do you some good in the MAC Red play if you can hold an opponent under 50 points, but the struggles have been on the offensive side of things. Case in point, the 28 they scored in the last meeting between these two teams.
Well, there's your 16 foul, Brad. So from here on out, it's bonus basketball for the Blue Devils. And you know, you don't want to put this team on the free throw line. With the shooters that they have, they can really extend the lead really quick from the free throw line. So I think that'd be the emphasis right now on the defensive end, is not putting them on the line and find a way just to use your body and just kind of shield the basket as best you can without making contact.
Split for Vashon. Dakota comes down the rebound. Tied up at 8 apiece. 6:35 now left to go in the first half. Dakota's going to have to get this over the timeline or take a timeout. They will take the timeout. Good coaching there by Coach Toko, realizing it was getting fairly close to that 10-second violation. He saves the possession.
Yeah, they were going the wrong direction, and much needed timeout there. And then for you fans that are not aware, when a timeout does reset the 10 seconds, they do not have it's not a carryover time. The problem is when you get this kind of a press, you got to have someone in the middle. Someone's got to be in the middle of the floor, because you're just throwing long passes across the floor. With the speed of the Blue Devils, they're going to get across that floor very quickly, follow the basketball almost. You got to get somebody in the middle so your guards can release down the sidelines. You can hit one of them on the run.
And that's really something that Grosse Pointe South hadn't shown up to this point. They weren't pressing, so credit to the coaching staff recognizing that, putting that out there, giving something else for Dakota to think about now. Good teams switch up their defenses throughout basketball games.
Absolutely. You don't want to be predictable. We're getting to the time of year where it can be one and done season. That's the last thing you want to have happen after the year they've had. So, not to mention just the chance to go 10-0, which is not done very often.
And we mentioned last time it was accomplished, 2017, Dakota capturing that MAC Red title with a perfect 10-0 record.
If I'm not mistaken, was it last year or the year before where Chip and Dakota shared, and that was at 7-3.
7-3 last season.
Yeah,
yes.
So I mean, it is not easy to run the table in the red division. It's tough.
And if I'm not mistaken, didn't Chippewa Valley start out the season 7-0? And
that.
I think I believe, lost their last 3 MAC Red games last season.
Had to win one more game and just couldn't have lost a devastating double, triple overtime game against LCN, Dakota, and
Steve Bernard, head coach at Grosse Pointe South. I don't know what he's politicking about.
He's claiming the foul was on a different player than the one that was called.
Well, so they changed the foul from Anthony Bernard to Carter Richards.
Right, which is he said the foul was on 11.
Okay.
Hey, give it to the girls' varsity coach's kid. Don't give it to my kid.
Well, and this is one instance where a coach actually changed the mind of a referee.
Right.
You don't see it too often.
No.
I think we've said throughout a couple broadcasts that those arguments don't typically work, but in this case, it did just that.
I want Coach Bernard arguing for me.
Bernard, 18-footer, no good. He really hasn't found his mark, and now we're going to get a foul on the rebound attempt. And this is going to send Grosse Pointe South to the line. Yeah,
Carter Richards has been active on that offensive glass. He attacks it, and he kind of slipped in there, played the ball perfectly right off the rim, and loose ball found the Cougars. Going to give the young man 2 free throws with a chance to give the Blue Devils the lead back. Watson back in the game. He's got to be careful. He's got 2 fouls.
Richards cans the first.
Oh, this is one of those shooters that are on the line that you don't want. These guys are, no high school players automatic, but those 2 are pretty much darn near close.
That ball didn't even come close to touching rim.
No.
As Richards is now a perfect 4 for 4 from the line. First points of the second quarter belong to Grosse Pointe South. They lead it 10-8. Now another trap and a steal. Anthony Bernard, and come from behind, swat away there by Wooters. Quickly up ahead to Bomarito. Big collision. Boy, oh boy.
That hurt a little bit. Matthew's tough.
Noah Steyer quickly up, and it appears Bomarito took the brunt of that shot, and he is holding his wrist. Boy, oh boy, big collision there.
Yeah, that took most of the falls. He was trying to absorb the shock of landing instead of going face first or head first in the ground. He took the brunt of that on the wrist here. And see if Matthew can knock both these down here.
And he misses the first. Bomarito appears to be in considerable amount of pain.
Yeah, he's wincing pretty good. That stung.
Someone is going to check in for him. Lorenzo Alfred at the scorer's table right now. As Bomarito able to knock down the second, and he will take a seat. Lorenzo Alfred going to Northwood next season to play football, and Dakota quickly becoming quite the pipeline to Northwood. A lot of Dakota's athletes going to Northwood next season, including quarterback Ethan Hamby.
Man, Northwood might have to darken that blue a little bit.
Or change their nickname from the Timberwolves to the Cougars.
The Cougar
Northwood,
Wolves.
a very good GLIAC school.
Well, Poppy said they had a flood back, a year or two ago?
Yep.
Big flood that, had all that whole facility underwater. Got gorgeous facilities there.
Midland area.
Gorgeous facilities.
And Bernard. It's going to be tough rooting for a lot of these guys, though, because I'm a Grand Valley State grad, and we take on the Northwoods and the Saginaw Valleys of the world. Anthony Bernard knocks down both. And Division II in the state of Michigan alive and well. Tyrone Wheatley gets hired by Wayne State to coach football. Scott Wooster, the recently named head coach now at Grand Valley State University.
And if you haven't seen any Division II football, you're missing out.
And they're going to get a foul call or a travel violation instead against Matt Wooters as he holds out both hands in disbelief. Under 5 minutes remaining in the first half.
Alex English thought it was going to be a foul call. He was in total disbelief.
Dakota with just 1 point here in the second quarter. Out in transition.
Yeah. Now, you know who that is out there, right?
No, because I don't have a 15 on my roster.
It's Keelan Jackson, who played the JV game and lit up the JV game. He's getting his fifth quarter right now. Got out in transition and's got a nice bucket.
Foul up there by Alex English.
Young sophomore showing what game he's got. And I literally watched him put about 18 in the JV. He tore up the JV game.
Explain to our viewers what the fifth quarter is.
You get 5 quarters. You get to play 5 periods basically in a week. Yeah, they have it in football. It's not as widely used. But in basketball, same thing. And they can come in and play 4 quarters of the JV game and if need be, used in the varsity game. And here he is, after having a heck of a game in the JV game, got to make a curtain call and come in and play a little bit of the varsity game.
So Dakota takes a timeout after Carter Richards cans a 3. 17-11 now. There's a little 10-3 run here to start this second quarter of play, has given the Blue Devils the 6-point lead.
Yeah, you want to keep them close. They're starting to pull away a little bit. Coach Toko sensing that, taking a timeout. And they kind of lost that little bit of intensity in the defense that you saw early on. Got to start putting the ball in the basket here because Grosse Pointe South could very quickly get into waters they're not used to being in. You don't want that to happen.
This Grosse Pointe South team a season ago was just 11-11, 4-6 in MAC Red play. They finished 5th in the MAC Red a season ago. What a turnaround for the Blue Devils.
You're starting to see that more and more in multiple sports, is those quick turnarounds. Just by getting an extra player or two, or kids really taking that off season and really pumping their game up, getting stronger, getting a little bigger. I mean, it's you see that so much often more now than ever before. Colpart using his size inside, and he's going to go to the line for 2. Owen is the load down there, 215 pounds. He is not a fun guy to guard in the paint. So on the JV, Keelan Jackson wears number 24. right here for right now, because he's got a varsity jersey on, different uniforms, he's wearing 15.
Jackson getting some extended minutes now.
Maybe Coach Toko pulling a little secret weapon. Look at him rip that ball away. Oh, he stepped on the line. Oh, he jumped. Oh, boy. Been a rough night for the officials. We're in the second quarter.
Coach Toko with his hands extended out at his side and just utter disbelief. And now Coach Bernard.
Sorry, Paul. I agree with you. I get where you're coming from. It's you just flabbergasted.
17-12, 3:15 left to go now, second quarter. All the way to the outside, three-pointer on the way. Boy, oh boy, that's Alex English, the big man. When your center can step back and knock down three-pointers, you know you are a loaded offense.
Yeah, and your big man, yeah, that's tough. 6'8", that's tough to defend too. You really got to get up and contest that. He's a long ways up as it is.
Lead extended to 8 now, 20-12. Jackson, a little shake and bake move, quarter court pass, VJ Jackson.
Oh, what a pass.
Try to go pocket pass that time inside to Morin, who wasn't expecting it. And the ball sails out of bounds.
That was a great job of getting in the lane. Morin just wasn't expecting it. That was a fantastic feed. Unfortunately, turnover for the Cougars. That would have been a nice basket. You can just start to see this Blue Devil team starting to just pick up steam a little bit too. Confidence growing.
Yep, starting to knock down some shots.
Different team than where they were in the first quarter.
Took them a while to get started, but since then they have really hit their stride. Vachon with the basketball. A little four-out action now for the Blue Devils, and finally Richards drives in, kicks it back out to Vachon, three on its way, short. Colpert comes down with the defensive rebound, quickly up ahead to Jackson, really pushes it and bounces it in.
Boy, he's got another gear, does he?
And Grosse Pointe South will slow things down. Here comes the double team. Dangerous pass. Vachon kicks it back out. English three-way three. Bang. Boy, oh boy. He's starting to feel himself now.
Every time
8 points in this quarter for English.
Every time they get close, Blue Devils come right back with an answer. That's what good teams do.
Jackson forced to pick up his dribble. Jackson looking for the answer. Ooh, just off the mark, just a bit. Drop inside, terrific pass to Colpert.
Nice
what
pass.
A feed.
Yeah, Lorenzo Alford with a beautiful pass to Colpert in the post.
Oh boy, from the parking lot, no good. Morin comes down with the rebound. Little heat check there for Grosse Pointe South. Alfred, look out. Able to save it, but turns it over. Richards behind the back. No call. Russell on play on. Vachon, corner three, no good.
Well, they're scrapping though.
Minute left to go in the first half. Colpert hands off to Jackson. Over to Jackson. Lon Jackson with it.
He's going to try to get Owen down low. He's got Bernard on him, which is a huge size advantage.
Ill-advised pass there. Richards going to get it. Lay it up, lay it in. Too easy.
They're so quick with their hands, aren't they? Play such good defense.
25-16. Floater no good. This one's getting awfully wobbly for the Dakota squad. Vachon was out of bounds when he caught that pass. Wholesale changes coming in for the Blue Devils.
Dad's upset. He wanted him to shoot that. We'll be arguing over that at the dinner table tomorrow. Or tonight, who knows?
Yeah, probably on the bus ride home.
I like the idea, though. I mean, this kid's a total player. There's no doubt about it. I mean, he can do it all. Plays defense, distributes the basketball, attacks the basket, can shoot and score whenever he wants to. I mean, he's the real deal. Probably the front runner for MAC Player of the Year.
Oh boy, what a tie up there. The shot
Get in
will
it.
count if it goes. Lorenzo's desperation heave falls short, and that will do it. First half of play in the books with Grosse Pointe South on the road in front, 25-16. We'll take a quick break here on Chippewa Valley Cable Television. It'll be a 10-minute break, but when we come back, it'll be the start of the second half of play. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back inside Dakota High School. Intermission over and done with. Grosse Pointe South with the 25-16 advantage. Good news for the Dakota Cougars. 7 players factored into the scoring. The bad news, their leading scorer, Warren Colbert and Kelvin Watson, just with 3 points. They have to find something offensively to get themselves back in this game.
Yeah, multiple players contributing, but that only leads to 16 points in the half, Brad. And right now, Grosse Pointe South, a 9-point lead. If you're Dakota, I think by the time the fourth quarter starts, you at least want to cut this lead in half. You don't want to get all 9 or 10 of it back here. You cut it in half. I think, just get that defensive intensity back a little bit.
Kind of piggybacking on that thought, you've held Anthony Bernard to just 4 points, yet Grosse Pointe South has a 9-point lead.
Yeah, if he decides to take this game over, look out, because that's the one nice thing that, look out, there it is.
Right on cue, no good. And it's Washburn with the rip down. Up ahead, Matt Wooters. Back to Washburn, right at the free throw line. Holds the ball high above his head. Now attacks the basket. Oh, nice move by Nathan Washburn.
I think even the Cougars too. Right now, Grosse Pointe South came out with Richards on Copart. I think that's a mismatch. I think Copart can really bully him up in the post. That might be something to see if they look to go to here in the second half.
Washburn coming off that 22-point performance. That's his first bucket of the night. Vachon for 3 is short. Alex English, though, comes down the rebound. It'll stay with the Blue Devils.
Those are probably one of the most painful saves that you ever experienced, is that ball going off you. There's nothing you can do. And that'll leave a nice tattoo on you when you get home.
Dakota has lost 4 of their last 5.
One thing I've noticed too, though, is English is really not a threat in the post, where I think that's a big advantage for Washburn.
Bernard with the blow-by, can't finish at the net. 3-pointer on its way, right down the chute. Nathan Steyer.
Second chance points will kill you. I mean, you get the rebound there, those 3 points don't happen, and now you got it down to 7. Now it's right back up to 10. I mean, just climb that mountain the whole game is just insurmountable.
Watson, right wing 3, swish.
He can the first one of the game, and now he's got it. He can make a few of those. Cougars can get on a run here. He's a big, strong presence for a guard in the post.
If you're a Dakota fan, you realize you can't just trade threes. You got to come up with stops on the defensive end. And another offensive rebound by Grosse Pointe South. Carter Richards. Oh, boy.
Well, if you call a jump, South gets it anyway, so
right.
Either way.
Dakota home fans directly below us, Jeff, voicing their frustration throughout this game, and now a defensive foul called against Dakota.
Yeah, kind of push them toward that baseline, and a quick foul early here. That was kind of the big deal in the first half. Grosse Pointe South started knocking down some free throws, kind of started to extend that lead, then started canning some threes. You don't want to get them in the bonus again early in this half, or it's going to spell the end.
Grosse Pointe South went 7 of 10 from the charity line in that first half. Kick out, English. Dump down low. Oh, nice play along the baseline of Bernard. No hesitation.
He's just on a different level, Brad. He's just on a different level. Yeah, that was pretty.
Alfred kicks over to Wooters. There. Colbert, pull-up jumper, rims home.
Yeah, a little home court roll there. Cougars hanging around still at 7.
Within striking distance. There's the switch. Straightaway 3 by the big man English, knocks it home. Boy, oh boy. He has canned 3 3-pointers in this basketball game. When your 6'8" big man can step out and shoot, that is like having a secret weapon in your back pocket. Watson drives, baseline draws, contact and 1.
Well, that's a nice answer there for the Cougars. Just as you get the lead back up to 10, you have a chance to get it right back down to 7. Like you said, you can't trade 3 for 3. It's not going to go well for you right now. Just seeing all these athletes out here, Brad, I am so happy I played when I played because I wouldn't have ever played.
Different brand of basketball as Watson misses short.
Just a different caliber of athlete nowadays, too.
Well, and I think a lot of that does have to do with the fact that we really, Bernard just put his defender in a blender.
Just toying with him.
You know, we have athletes playing multiple sports. They're not specializing anymore, and I think the best of the best and all professional athletes stress the importance. And now some controversy here is the referee on that far side, who had a rough night, is saying it's Grosse Pointe South basketball. And now they're going to have a little conference and decide Dakota basketball. So they corrected the wrong. Kudos to the refs, talking it over. Good teamwork there.
I don't think the officials are going to be on the Dakota parent Christmas card list.
But to kind of complete our thought process, you know, you have the Watsons, the Colperts, the Alfreds of the world playing multiple sports. And I think coaches at the next level appreciate that, and they want that. They want well-rounded athletes. Carter Richards couldn't sell that foul. He tried. He had the little Reggie Miller kick out there. Watson with a good ball fake. Euro steps his way through. Bomarito, that's a big one. Misses short.
Well, one thing that could help the Cougars is that, you know, Grosse Pointe South isn't going to work it for a good shot. They're taking quick shots, so you know they can help the Cougars get back in this game if they continue to trigger quickly here. A lot of yelling going on.
It's funny that far side official, he's essentially had all the 50-50 calls here tonight. And it just seems like when that run starts, right, it just kind of always builds it, and all the focus, the spotlight is on you for the rest of the night. And he's had to make all those tough calls, including that one.
His 50-50's been more like 25-75, but I get
and now we're going to get a late sub. No, we're not going to get a late sub.
A little late with the horn there. That's called being ignored right there, Brad, being ignored.
35-25. Crossover dribble, Bernard traveled. Shuffle the feet.
Second for South, number 12, Tracy Beckenall.
Jackson. Bomarito skips it back up top to Jackson. Goes over to Colpert. Has to track that loose ball down. Wow. Decides to take the, why not? Owen Colpert.
That was from deep.
From Shelby Township.
Nice shot by Owen. Gets it back to 7.
Oh, anything you can do. Short. Nobody for the Cougars went after that basketball, and that's tough.
Yeah, the guys in blue have gotten a lot of those loose balls, Brad. That's not going to help the Cougars at all.
Jackson works his way around the screen, goes back outside to Colpert, feeling it now. Tap out. Active hands. Watson able to scoop a shot up and hit.
Little scramble drill there.
And give a lot of credit to Dakota here tonight. They have scratched and clawed throughout this basketball game, and with remain in striking distance. Boy, oh boy, this time he's going to get the call. Richards has fallen down a couple times on three-point attempts. we're not privy to an instant replay.
No.
I don't know if there was a lot of contact there.
No, and you gotta let them land too. I wasn't paying attention to after the shot, but you give a shooter now 3 free throws, and again you start trading the 3-for-3 thing.
Yeah. Carter Richards now a perfect 5 for 5 from the line. This gymnasium all of a sudden has grown a little hostile.
Someone let the dogs back in?
No, the dog is not here tonight, shockingly. Probably should let our viewers know there is a Dakota student that sits in the student section. Well,
it's more than 5 people tonight. Oh, jeez. They're going to call a foul on Watson.
Kelvin Watson was trying to box out the shooter and they actually knocked down Carter Richards.
Here's the thing, too. You can't touch the shooter until the ball hits the rim. That's a rule.
And that's Kelvin Watson's 4th foul. So all 3 free throws are good, and now the basketball goes back to Grosse Pointe South via the foul. So Blue Devils in front, 40-30, 2:06 left to go in the third.
That was like 3 technical fouls in the ball back. This could be a 5-point, 6-point play for the Blue Devils.
And there's the 3 on its way, and it's good. 6-point trip.
He's got 17.
And Coach Toko, realizing this game is slipping away from his Cougars, takes the timeout. Kelvin Watson actually went straight to the locker room, so I don't know what that was about. Well, we mentioned the 11-11 season a season ago for Grosse Pointe South. They do have a history of some very good basketball teams. They were OAA white champions back in 2020. And then there was that strange COVID year where the red and white kind of combined to join forces. And Grosse Pointe South went 8-1 in that combined league play. So this is a Grosse Pointe South team that is accustomed to winning. They're not accustomed to winning at this rate nor at this level, but a 9-0 record now in MAC Red play, looking to put the finishing touches on a perfect 10-0 mark here tonight.
And they've had every answer so far for the Cougars tonight. The Cougars came out, played a great first quarter. Grosse Pointe South started to kind of maintain their grip in the second quarter, and then just played steady since. And they don't make a lot of mistakes, which is it's tough to get back in the game against them because they don't really turn the ball over and they create a lot of chaos defensively. And not only does this team shoot, this team plays good defense.
Bomarito takes the inbound pass. Kelvin Watson back out from the locker room. Jason Barra freshly into the basketball game, fire up a 3, no good. Carter Richards blow by, can't finish at the rim. Kick it out to Colpert, out in transition. Bomarito had a hard time catching that basketball game. He appears to be in a lot of pain. We know he injured his wrist in the first half, but he's got it taped up and he's gonna play through it. And it's Richards again, missing short. We'll go back to the line to shoot a couple.
Junior's a handful, isn't he? 6'2", 11, number 11 junior, and he's and you look at him, he's pretty skinny upper body, but boy, he's in there every rebound. You try to rip the ball from him, gets strong hands, doesn't let go of it, draws a lot of fouls. He's just draining free throws like crazy. He's 18 points. He's just quietly killing the Cougars right now, pretty much by himself.
At 10 points in this quarter alone. And it's now a perfect 9 for 9 from the free throw line.
You got Bernard and English on the bench, and it's become the Richards show.
And that lead has swelled up to 15, 45-30. $1:10 now left to go in the third quarter. Dakota in desperate needs of points here.
That needs to go down. That's a tough one. You're getting good shots.
20-14, Grosse Pointe South has outscored Dakota here in this third quarter. Now frustration really setting in. Raphael Ross Jr. will go to the line to shoot his first free throws of the night. He's been held off the score sheet. 6'1" senior, one of the reserves off the bench for Grosse Pointe South.
You know, in high school, obviously, home court advantage, but the foul discrepancies tonight has been big.
Yeah, in this third quarter alone, 5 against Dakota, 1 against Grosse Pointe South.
And Grosse Pointe South was in the bonus early on in the second quarter, and they're headed away to be that way in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
again.
Dakota, I believe, picked up, what, 5 or 6 first quarter fouls. BJ Jackson now with 40 seconds left in this third quarter. Changes direction. He's going to try to explore the right-hand side. Kind of spins around now, picks up the dribble. Jason Barr, the junior, defers over to Colpert on the far side. Pull-up jumper, good. Good knockdown jumper there by Colpert. He's kind of kept Dakota in this game, along with Kelvin Watson, the 2 Saginaw Valley guys. Carter Richards, 6'2", right on the logo. Gonna give it a go now. Step back 3, no good. And Dakota's gonna have to fire up a shot. Half quarter, good as it goes and it falls! Oh, baby! Oh, and Colpert beats the buzzer! Little exclamation mark on the third quarter. Maybe that gives the Cougars a little bit of a lift.
Well, you know, the big man trying to put the team on his back right now, but Cougars are down 11, Brad. 8 minutes to go. You're going to have to really put the pedal to the metal here and try to get Grosse Pointe South to maybe play, if there is such a thing for them, too fast, because I mean, you need possessions and you need points, and that's kind of been the struggle for the Cougars this year, is the point part. You know, 46, Grosse Pointe South's kind of right at where they usually are at this year. You know, they're double digits a quarter. That's going to put them right around their average. If they get it again, you are really good. I mean, theoretically, you're going to have to try to win this period 20-8. See if you can pull one out here. You got to keep it under 10. It's going to be tough for the Cougars to get to 56 in a period in 8 minutes.
Well, they did hold the Blue Devils to those 7 points in that first quarter as they had the lead after 8 minutes. 8-7 did Dakota. Kind of fell apart in the second quarter, but a good lift there by Owen Colpert and Kelvin Watson in the third. Colpert finishes the quarter with 10. Watson had 7. Watson, however, on the bench with those 4 personal fouls.
Nice steal off the bat.
BJ Jackson, a little drop off to Colpert. Flings a pass inside. Pretty look there. Nice move, and it's Jason Barra.
That's a senior leader there. You could have forced that shot. You saw someone with a better opportunity for a layup. Nice start for the court to the quarter by the Cougars.
Very unselfish play by Colpert. Pass goes into the corner for Steyer, and he traveled. So, back-to-back stops on the defensive end. You add in the basket by Barra, and Dakota down 9 with 7:26 left in regulation.
It's all about quality possessions. You got to cash in on yours, and you got to really make them work for theirs. Don't give them anything good. Make them shoot long distance. And the Cougars are going to need to catch fire here.
Lorenzo Alford, he needs to get going. He's got 3 points. Colpert. Catch there by Washburn. Knocks it down.
The big man has turned himself into a heck of a player.
Washburn's second field goal of the night. Bernard catches with one hand, a little backdoor move, and a finish by Nate Davey.
Nice job of finishing on the other side of the rim, too, to help use that as a shield, because Washburn was coming in for the swat. Going to the other side of the rim, he couldn't get it.
Little Princeton backdoor move. Alford on this near side, floats pass to Colpert, who directs traffic. In between the circles now for Jackson. Back over to Colpert. Cougar offense kind of bogged down just a bit. Colpert trying to create something, loses track of the dribble. Regains it, passes it off. We'll swing it over to the near side once again for Alfred. I don't think Jason Barr was quite ready for that pass. Washburn got to get out of the lane. Avoids the 3-second call. Colbert 3 on its way, good.
Before you can blink, Owen Colpart with 16 points. Here come the Cougars, Brad, down 6.
Little 7-2 spurt here for Dakota. Cross-court pass to Bernard. They slow things down. They feed it inside to Alex English, who was fouled there by Washburn. Good foul. Take that exchange and put English on the line and make him earn the 2 points.
Yeah, that's a good foul. However, that foul there now lets Grosse Pointe South shoot bonus basketball the rest of the way on any foul.
6-team foul. It's a bonus basketball the rest of the way. This will be a shooting foul, so 2 free throws coming up for English. Boy, oh boy, how good have the Blue Devils been at the line tonight.
Good Lord. You want to talk about the difference in a 7-8 point game. I mean, it's been unbelievable. They've been from the line.
(14-19) tonight at the line as Jackson comes up with a 3.
4-point game.
Cougars' second triple of the quarter. Here's the answer from Vashon Pure. Boy, oh boy. Every single time the Blue Devils have had an answer. It's unbelievable. Mark of a true champion in every sense of the definition.
Yeah, and they're getting into the lane, they're being able to kick it, they're hitting shots.
Washburn right back. He's starting to heat up. Probably not the look you want him taking, but he knocks it down.
Yeah, big man's knocking it down and needs some stops here.
Bernard is going to try to drive on Jackson. Instead kicks it out. English 3 on its way. Off the back heel, no good. Colbert comes down with the rebound. Being harassed there by Richards. And now Richards is going to get called for the foul in the backcourt. Energy in this gymnasium is picked up. The Cougar faithful starting to realize what's going on in this basketball game. Their team down 5. 52-47, 4:34 left to go in regulation. B.J. Jackson looks over at his home bench, gets the play call, sends it on its way. Colbert catches in front of the bench. Goes over to Barra. We're going to get a foul away from the basket.
Well, here's something we haven't seen tonight. 2 quick fouls on the Blue Devils.
Going to get Alex English. It's his first, just the team third. Alfred, short toss into B.J. Jackson. Jackson with Bernard on his hip. Goes into the corner for Colbert. Gives himself a little bit of wiggle room. Now begins to drive. Floats one up, off the high glass and down. Tremendous take there by Colbert.
Here come the Cougars halfway through this period. They got this down to 3. This place has come alive.
Carter Richards now. He directs traffic. Little crossover. Vashon catches near side. Up top to English. Into the corner for Richards. Tries to drive baseline. A little nickel and dimer there against Jackson. And it will put Carter Richards on the line.
You're going to put the guy on the line that was 9 for 9 from the stripe tonight.
And we're going to get a full timeout called by Grosse Pointe South. Well, you mentioned district play. And our Dakota Cougars will be in the Port Huron Northern District along with the Anchor Bay Tars, Lance Cruz North, and both Port Huron schools, Port Huron and Port Huron Northern. Jeff.
Port Huron Northern is tearing it up, Brad.
14-1 overall.
Yeah, how many points are they averaging?
9-0 in MAC white play. Funny you should ask, 70.5 per
That's
game.
insane.
While just giving up 57 points.
Folks, that's not like hitting 70 once or twice.
That's averaging.
Averaging 70.5 points a game. That is some firepower. We talk about how good Grosse Pointe South is, right? They're averaging 10 more points a game. Now let that sink in.
As for Grosse Pointe South, they're going to have to go on the road in their district. Just down the street is Grosse Pointe North will host that district. Grosse Pointe South in that North District with Harper Woods, Lakeview, and Roseville. So one would argue
not an easy Roseville team to play against there.
No, Roseville currently in the second spot in the MAC Red with a 6-2 record. They've clinched the 2 seed in the upcoming MAC Red White crossover tournament. And it's going to get real interesting now who's going to gather and hold on to that 3rd and 4th spot in the MAC Red, because that is the 4 top seeds qualify for that MAC Red White tournament.
Missed a big free throw there. Wow. 9 for 10 now. That was huge. That gives the Cougars a chance to maybe make this a 1-point game or even a tie.
Colbert.
Come on, big man. Oh, there we go. Let's go.
21 points in the ball game for Colbert. 18 of them in the second half. He has knocked down 4 triples in the second half. 52-52. Bernard can't finish. This was a 9-point Blue Devil lead at halftime. Hanging, can't hit. And a defensive blocking foul called on Carter Richards.
Owen Copart has said, boys, get on my back and hang on. We're going for a ride. Let's go. What a game he has turned into. And you know, you mentioned a few minutes ago, you also got to mention the play of Nate Washburn right now, because he's kind of been that second punch that the Cougars have had. You know, hitting some nice baseline jumpers here. Needs to knock down a free throw to give them their first lead since the first quarter.
So Washburn knocks down 1 of 2. Cougars, first real lead of his basketball game. First lead for sure in the second half. Trailed by 11 points after 3 quarters. 3 on its way. Richards knocks it down. Unbelievable punch, counter punch between Carter Richards and Owen Colbert. BJ Jackson into the corner for Jason Barra. Goes back up top to Alfred. Finds Washburn. Feeds it down low and a blocking foul.
Great ball movement there by the Cougars. Evan Barra needs to take his time and knock down these 2 free throws. You know, we mentioned a few minutes ago, Brad, 6-1 the fouls. Look at it now, 7-5.
It's amazing what happens when the fouls start to even up. Barra can't make. How many times have we talked about free throw shooting, especially coming down the stretch? How important free throw shooting is.
Hundreds.
And it's going to be an empty trip as Barra unable to knock down either freebie. 55-53. Grosse Pointe South remains in the lead. And now they're going to get Colbert there.
I mean, I understand that's kind of a ticky-tack for what they've kind of called and let go. Can't start calling that now with 2:20 to go.
No, it's MAC Red basketball. They usually...
And you pushed off. Like,
yeah.
I mean...
Bernard knocks down the first, earns the second.
There's that emotional support dog again.
It's not quite a bark. It's more of a shrill kind of...
Sounds like a squirrel getting stepped on.
And Bernard able to knock down both. Lead back up to 4, 2:19 left. Gotta ride the hot hand, one would think. That's Owen Colbert. Jackson. Here comes the motion. They get it over to Colbert. Into the corner. Begins his drive. Backs down his defender now. Feeds it down low. Finishing Nathan Washburn.
Yeah,
Nathan Washburn with 7 points in this quarter.
Nice steal by the big man, and keeps this a one-possession game. Now you need to stop. Look who's guarding Bernard.
Colbert nearly came away with the steal. 3 on its way is good. Line drive 3.
That's who you want to shoot it. He knocked it down.
Cagney knocks it down. Lead up to 5. Bad pass, intercepted. Bernard tiptoes over the timeline. And Grosse Pointe South can take a timeout. Gonna take a timeout with 71 seconds left in this ball game. That was a deflating 3 there. And a costly turnover.
I talked with Coach Toko, and I just, casually said to him, "You got something special for these guys?" And his quote was, "I hope so. He beat us by 30 the last time." So I think you can talk to Coach Toko after this game. I think you're going to get an answer of how proud he was, how his boys have come on and fight. Trust me, this is not over by a long shot. Minute 11 to go. You're going to pressure the inbounds. My guess is even maybe putting someone like Washburn on the ball, make it very tough to throw the ball in for. And now you got to try to extend this game and play the foul game. And it's going to become a free throw shooting contest. And Grosse Pointe South on the other end are going to find ways to get the ball out of Owen Copart's hand because he has absolutely killed them in the second half.
Grosse Pointe South's 3 losses this season. A 3-point loss to Detroit Loyola, one of the top teams in the state of Michigan.
Really good, yes.
A 6-point loss to Ferndale and a 7-point loss to River Rouge. 2 of those 3 losses were the first 2 games of the season. This Grosse Pointe South team started out the season 0-2, and they were down a couple starters to start the season. Since then, since December 15th, they have gone 13-1.
They're pretty, we just watch them. Look at the shooters. Look how they play. They don't make a lot of mistakes. That's just.
Sean gets it over.
The spacing, the ball movement, they're just all in sync on the same page.
Look out. This could be a turnover. You got to tie it up. You got to tie it up and get the jump ball. Oh, they're going to give Grosse Pointe South a timeout. Oh,
and Dakota's got the arrow.
They called a timeout. They're going to give Grosse Pointe South a timeout. Oh, boy. Was Grosse Pointe South in control of that basketball?
I'm sure this referee wants to give the ball to someone else to stand over here. I don't think he wants to stand over. He's going to, though.
He's going to man up, and he's going to come over here.
So my favorite commercial of all time was the sideline official and the guy screaming in his ear, and he's like, how does he train for something like this? And they show him at home watching TV, and his wife's just hollering in his ear. It's my favorite commercial of all time, Brad.
Yeah, want to get away, right?
Whoever thought of that commercial, pure genius.
Well, exactly a minute now left to go in the 4th. Grosse Pointe South gets the timeout. Now, essentially, that's who you want to foul.
Yeah, considering everyone else on the floor is like 19 for 21 from the free throw line, for God's sakes. Although he was the guy you wanted shooting the last 3, and he drained it. Didn't even hit the rim. So.
He knocks down
Dead
the first.
center.
Yep.
This team from the free, you want to talk about the difference? It's a 6-point game. You want to talk about the difference in free throw shooting? That's got to be what, 16 of 21, something like that, compared to the Cougars. That's the difference in the game is the free throw line right now. Cougars have made 3 free throws.
Yeah,
the Grosse Pointe South 16.
Yeah, it looks like Cougars are about 4 for 10.
That's 12-point difference in the free throws from the free throw line. It's a 6-point game. And Macagnon coming out of the game, you got to high-five that kid. Boy, has he played some huge minutes for them.
Now Jackson turns it over, and that will more than likely do it. Carter Richards lays it in. Now, congratulations to Grosse Pointe South. Go 10-0 in MAC Red plays. Quite the accomplishment.
Oh, that's insane.
Jackson gets himself a little bit of room, and now Coach Toko takes the timeout. Hard-fought battle here tonight.
Yeah, and they're going to battle the end. Coach Toko won't expect anything less, and the players that they've been taught and bred this, they're going to battle it all the way to the end. you got to continue to foul and try to lengthen this game as long as you can. And hopefully you can knock down some shots. You know, statistically and the probability, you do the math, not high.
No, they've held Anthony Bernard to just 10 points. If I would have told you coming into this basketball game to hold Mr. All-State Mercer commit to 10 points, you would think, well, you might have a shot here tonight. Well, you did have a shot here tonight. Costly turnovers, bad free throw shooting down the line, and some really clutch shooting by Grosse Pointe South.
Carter Richards with 24. You got English with 12. You know, then you got the McNome kid who came off the bench and gave him some good minutes and hit a big three and made some huge free throws right there. So I mean, they just made the plays they needed to win the game. You know, Cougars at one point down 11, put on a massive rally, take a 1-point lead after being down 11 coming in here. Just Grosse Pointe South showing you why they're 13-1 since that start, and they're the real deal right now. And you're going to have to play some outstanding basketball to knock this team off.
It's going to be really interesting to see what happens. That's a clean play.
You got parents who are arguing right now who don't understand the rules. That is a legal play. You are allowed to do that. That's always been my complaint. If you don't know the rules, don't argue.
Yes.
Yeah, just sit there and watch the game.
Because of the made basket, you could also run the baseline.
Right. Yeah, the timeout doesn't make it a dead ball, and the referee's job is to tell them that before they get into the game. Let them know, hey, you got the baseline, and that's just a smart heads-up play by Coach Bernard, because it usually kind of catches them off guard. You got the big man in the middle got the basketball and got your ball to the wing. Something I kind of mentioned about breaking a press earlier on, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the middle school guy might know what he's talking about, Brad.
Every once in a while.
Every once in a while. I'm not gonna get too full of myself, though.
Yeah, I mean, a blind squirrel occasionally finds a nut too.
Sometimes a big nut.
VJ Jackson over the Cougar. Ooh, hard screen.
That was
there
a screen
by Nathan Washburn. Pull-up jumper's good from 15 feet.
Wow, Steyer ran into a wall named Washburn. Oh.
Blue Devils up 6. So once again, this baseline play could come into play because of the knockdown jumper.
Coach Patton. I love Coach Patton. Here's why. Coach Patton is always thinking of his next move. And I love getting here early to watch the JV game. I just love watching the coach. I always try to pick up something from him. Here's what he just said to the official. Hey, when he's got to land before he catches the ball. That last time he caught it in the air and landed, and you guys missed it. He kind of pointed that out just to put that in the referee's head.
Put that thought in.
And if it's any close, they might be looking for it and calling it. That's why you got to love Coach Patton. Absolute genius. These are the things I love picking up when I come here to watch a game and those kind of things. And watch this JV just destroy Grosse Pointe South today. I mean, they were absolutely just tore that team apart.
So there you see the running of the baseline. And it's going to be Vachon who catches, takes a hard foul.
Yeah, listen, Vachon better be careful because that is not the one you want to try on for size there, son. Lorenzo Alfred. I think you might want to walk away. Go shoot your free throws. Probably not in his best health interest.
So they got VJ Jackson there for the foul. That's his 5th. He's fouled out of this basketball game.
Yeah, Alfred kind of came over second. And of course, when you run into Lorenzo Alfred, as you found out in the football field, things did not go well for you. And Jackson's out. Coach Toko going to utilize his 30 seconds, which he is given. It's not a timeout, but you're allowed to talk to him on the floor. Again, people voicing their opinions that don't know the rules. You tell that gets under my skin? If you don't know the rules, ladies and gentlemen, please be quiet and just enjoy the basketball game. I mean, the rule book is thick. I get it. You're not going to know every rule, but there's some you just got to know or just be quiet.
And Vachon misses the first.
The players are on the floor. He is allowed 30 seconds. He can talk to his team. It is legal. And if you don't understand if it's legal or not, just watch your coach. If he's not arguing, that means he can do that.
I think Coach Bernard may have even told some of his fans what was taking place there. He kind of looked like he looked back and had a few words. And now Grosse Pointe South is going to foul because they have a foul to give.
Oh,
good, smart basketball by the Blue Devils.
It's fantastic, smart basketball because you get Owen out of his rhythm. You make him inbound the basketball.
But that's Richards' fourth. That's probably not the guy you want committing that foul.
I think at this point in time, though, it doesn't matter.
Washburn with the rip through, can't hit. And we'll see if Coach Toko pulls everybody back.
Yeah, he'll let him dribble it out.
He will do just that. And the Blue Devils will celebrate a perfect 10-0 record in MAC Red play. It will finish this game off in style. Final score 66-59. They improved to 14-3 overall. Our Cougars fall to 6-9 and move to 3-6 in MAC Red play. They still have one MAC Red game left. That's against Roseville, and that is a makeup game after the cancellation due to the snowstorm. A lot of positives to take away here tonight for Dakota. They played well at times. They scratched and clawed their way back into this game. Had a 1-point lead late in the fourth. Blue Devils just too good of a basketball team.
Yeah, I mean, hats off to the Cougars. They put on a monstrous comeback. They actually took the lead at one point. Grosse Pointe South showed you why right now that they're class of the Red Division this year. You got to take your hats off to them. Very disciplined basketball team, very talented basketball team. Share the basketball, space the floor very well. Play good defense, and that's a good recipe. You know, you're talking about, you know, you asked Coach Toko before the game. You got beat by 28 points last time against them. You had the lead in the fourth quarter. You know, you lose by 7. They made the free throw shooting they had was unbelievable. You know, it's something that, yeah, you can take away from this game as you're moving forward, because when you get to districts, you just hit the reset button. Records don't matter in districts. I've seen 8 and 12 teams go to the quarterfinals. You don't know what can happen if you catch fire. So, yeah, there's something you can take away. I think when the Cougars watch the film, you know, you still got a Roseville team left. I believe we're back here on
Thursday night.
Thursday, Brad. Up and down Lance Cruz team that actually put up 100 points this year early on in the season. So that should be fun to watch. You know, you got some work to do as you get ready for the districts.
And that Lance Cruz game will be our very next broadcast right here on Chippewa Valley Cable Television. Lance Cruz 11-4, 5-4. They're a MAC Gold team, so that's a little bit of a mismatch perhaps on paper, but that should be a good ball game as the Cougars will look to bounce back. That broadcast once again taking place Thursday right here on Chippewa Valley Cable Television. Well, I'd like to give thanks to my broadcast partner Jeff Vitale tonight. Dakota High School once again our final score, boys varsity basketball. The Grosse Pointe South Blue Devils come in, capture the MAC Red championship with a perfect 10-0 record. Away victors here tonight by the final score of 66-59. For the rest of our hardworking broadcast crew, I'm Brad Fetter saying goodnight one final time from Dakota. We'll see you Thursday night for the Cougars and the Lance Cruz Lancers.